Probably no one specific in particular. I think for me it was being at this place, the Sharks, and being a first grade leader of such, and coming through the ranks at a junior age. I wanted to give back to the club, and I guess one day when I leave, hopefully left the place in a better spot than where it was. So I guess that's where it came from, me wanting to help the next generation to be able to allow us to win premierships and for them to succeed in their own journey. And once I started helping and doing little bits here or there, I got a real thirst for it. And then, yeah, one thing led to another, and now I'm the head coach of the Sharks. For me, that would be communication, being able to understand, and probably understanding players. Everyone plays cricket for a different reason, everyone plays sport for a different reason, work, whatever it may be, their life dictates that. So being able to understand that is probably the most important, because then you can communicate with them based on that, what they want to get out of their cricket, how they're going with their cricket, what they're doing off field that allows them to get the most out of them, both training and then mainly on game days. Absolutely not. In my personal opinion, I don't think it matters what level you played at. Yes, there's going to be a point where exposure to a high level is going to assist you in the way that you can put yourself in the player's shoes, absolutely. But I think the more experience you gain and the more understanding and the better communication you have with players along the way, and exposure to good quality players and high level players, you're going to learn that and how to deal with that. I'm about to go into a new job working with a high profile coach who didn't play cricket as a high profile player, so he's made it just by sheer work ethic and understanding and what it takes the players to get the most out of them. So yeah, absolutely not. It depends on what the environment and where they're playing. Obviously, you've got a range of volunteers that are parents and such at a young age. I think it's very important within your club to recognise those, and I guess if people have gone far and beyond, then put them up for Volunteer of the Year sort of awards that Cricket Tas or Cricket Australia have, or whatever the sporting code it is. I don't think there's enough volunteers in our space, so yeah, probably more recognition within the club, and to allow other parents to know that the work that they are putting in is, it doesn't get taken for granted, because there is a lot of man hours, whether it be as a parent, and then you got to rock up and you got to make sure the boys are ready, the girls are ready. You've got a scorer if it's cricket, you've got umpires if it's footy, whatever it may be. So yeah, a bit more recognition in that regard would be nice within the club, I reckon. Yeah, I think it's vitally important. Obviously, the better the coaching, the more the kids are going to want to come back. I think the key is keeping it enjoyable for, no matter what the age group is, whether they're 6 years old or whether they're 36 years of age. You want them coming through the gates because they know that they're going to have an enjoyable training session, they're going to have enjoyment on game day. So that's the number one factor for me, is trying to keep things enjoyable. But then at the same time, once they're here, once they're enjoying it, is allowing them to develop a skill base, and I think that comes from developing them as a coach. So as a coach, you always got to be trying to find the next best thing. The best coaches are the best thieves. So to take ideas from other people is the best thing you could possibly do, because that's going to further your career, because you might take something from one person, another thing from another person, you put them together, and you might just have made the best session that you could possibly do. Mental health's pretty big in my books. I'm personally suffered with depression, anxiety, been suicidal in the past, so I'm open enough and free enough to talk about that and talk about my story and my journey. I think that allows me to emotionally connect with my players and my peers and the people around me on a pretty good level. I get a lot of people that come to me for advice and support, and I can't give them all the answers that they need, but what I can do is I can give them guidance and help based on the experience that I've suffered with. I'm in a much better space than where I was, but I think it's given me a real indication of what people can go through, what little things it can take to tick people and to make them click. So yeah, mental health for me is staying communicated with people. I've got my cues and I've got my coping mechanisms that I put in place on a daily basis. And for other people, it's about you know, like I said at the start, in terms of managing and understanding people and being able to communicate, because that's when you get the honest stuff, and that's when you can get the best out of people. You really understand them.